What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Think Different Theory. My name is Josh Forti, and we have another very special interview guest here for you today. I'm excited about this guest for a couple different reasons. Number one, because she's like one of the most energetic, high-level energy type person, and I feel like this is someone that is finally going to match my energy. And like this podcast, you can hear her. You can't see her yet, but you can hear her. Maybe this podcast is going to get a little out of control. So that's the first reason I'm excited. The second reason I'm excited is, quite frankly, I don't really know what she does. I just know she's awesome. And so we get to talk about that, and she's going to drop mad value on us, and she's going to introduce us to the KAPOW method. What is up, Liz Benny? Welcome to Think Different Theory.
Hey, dude, how are you, man?
I am so good. How are you?
I'm so freaking excited. I was in bed literally 25 minutes ago, and I was like, I've got the interview with Josh, and now I'm here. So I'm super duper duper excited that I can get stuff done quickly.
And now we get to,
yeah.
What time is it there?
Currently it's like 9:05 a.m. So yes, I was in bed late.
Well, that's fine. I mean, it's coronavirus season, and I feel. Well, I read a meme. Are you into memes at all?
I love memes, dude.
Okay,
there are some
like
good ones going around right now.
There really, really are. And I'm not a meme poster, but I'm definitely a meme consumer, right? I like consuming them. And I saw one of them that said, world, don't mess this up. The only time in history where laying in front of your TV and doing nothing could save the world population, all right? Like, just don't mess it up. And I'm like, that's actually kind of accurate.
I love it, dude.
I feel like there's an excuse. How have you been, Liz?
Dude, really, really, really good. I think through these times right now, and is it okay if we talk, like, obviously, you know, if people listen to this interview in a year from now, the circumstances are going to be different, but is it okay if we talk about what, cool.
Let's happen now. Yeah.
So the world is changing. The word unprecedented is probably the most overused word ever.
Especially in the marketing world, but yes.
Oh, yeah. Dude, this time last year, and I think today we're going to talk about a lot of different things, but I'm really, really good to answer your question.
Good.
You know, life goes on. I think this is the season of opportunity. And I don't mean that from a take from people who have less than you standpoint. I think this is an opportunity for true leadership and true value to shine.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's one of those times where, so you're in, are you in Australia? Or where are you?
Well, I think my love level from you, for you just went from like a 10 out of 10 to maybe a 7. I'm from New Zealand.
New Zealand, that's right. I knew that. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay, dude.
I'll earn the at back before the podcast is over. Quick side note: we were going to go. My girlfriend and I took a trip around the world last year, and we went to Australia, and New Zealand was on our list, and we ended up having to cut the whole trip short by 2 months because she ended up getting a parasite and like we had to fly her home and everything like that. But New Zealand was on our list to go to. And it was crazy because we got home and the time that we were supposed to be in New Zealand was, remember when the volcano erupted last year? Yeah. And we were supposed to be visiting there like right around that time. So it actually turned out to be good that we didn't go. It was just so crazy. But it's scary.
New Zealand has truly been hit by a lot of things just in the last year, but also in the last 7 years. Like if you want me to talk about like crisis, because we are in the world crisis right now. There have been, I think honestly, we should be talking today about resilience, about crisis, about smiling through it all, because I think if we choose the right attitude right now, we're gonna win. Like, and I think what I want everyone to know who's watching this right now is you're gonna hear me like raw, real, honest me, and you could misconstrue that I'm this person that doesn't give a crap about other people. Oh, no. Mm-mm. I want the world like to lift up and unite and embrace this from a win-win standpoint. So when I say win, I don't mean win against people who have less, because there are a lot of people who are in pain right now. But yeah, resilience and fun and smiling through this all. I think that's,
I love that. And I love your attitude towards everything. Every time I've seen you in person, I can't remember where the first time I saw you was. It had to be at a funnel hacking event.
Yeah, probably, dude. Yeah.
Were you at Funnel Hacking Live, 2 years ago? 2 years ago? Were you in Orlando or no?
No, actually, I wasn't in Orlando. I was in Nashville. I was at the very first one.
Okay,
I've got
so
some good stories to tell about that one.
okay, I probably saw you at Nashville then last year, not this past one for the first time. But yeah, anyway, every time I'm around you, like energy, high, kapow. Actually, let's start there. Let's talk about kapow. What the heck? What is kapow?
Okay, dude. Okay. So, you know, people like first things first, it's a word that came through me. No idea kind of where it came from, but it was like, vroom, and I just started saying kapow. I
And there it
literally
was.
just started saying, and yeah, there it was. And I would, like, in my everyday life, I would be like, oh, kapow, like, and I genuinely felt the word kapow, like, it always made me feel better. Always, if I would say, because you can't say kapow. Like,
Right,
even trying to say it,
You
it's like,
just go kapow. Ah, here we go.
yeah, but dude, try to say it like sad. Like, it'll always dip you back up. Like,
Right,
it just
right.
does.
It ends on a high. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So, it was really funny because for those of you that know me or that don't, like, you'll know that, like, Russell and I point over there because I literally just Voxer messaged him just before this.
Yeah.
And so I was I'm OG ClickFunnels. Like, I've got probably Russell got an account, then I got an account. Like, that's the whole way. I'm not kidding. I've been on the front page of ClickFunnels going, like, and I look at the picture of me, like, on the order page, I'm going, dang, girl grew up since then. Like, really, truly, she got wrinkles now.
Oh my.
But yeah, dude, like, kapow just, like, started as this thing, and all of a sudden I became the queen of kapow. So my first big project in the marketing world, like, coming out into the world from this little tiny country of New Zealand to worldwide, was Social Monkey Business, where I was teaching people, and I still do teach people, how to become six-figure social media managers without even knowing anything about social media. And that was the first thing that I went out into the market with. And in the community, I just started saying kapow, kapow. And my very first Facebook ad said, hey, and a massive kapow. I don't even know, like, where that came from. But now on every single one of my videos, I'm like, I start with this. I go, hey, and a massive kapow. My name is Liz Benny. And boom, it's like, whew. And that's where it kind of came from. So it, like, the transition of kapow. And then people started to say to me, what does it mean? I'm like, oh, crap. So then I genuinely, raw, real honest, because that's the only way I want to roll. I stood in front of the whiteboard one day. I was like, well, what will it mean? Just close your eyes. And I was like, you know what? Like, in this day and age, entrepreneurs who make it, like, all I could feel was that the K always needed to stand for connection. So I closed my eyes and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I started writing up connection, like K. And I spelled it with a C, and I was like, oh, hell no. Like, so connection, authenticity, positivity, ownership, and wealth.
Wow.
So that's what kapow stands for. And in all of my products, we walk through those, those things. And I'm about to launch something really, really, really cool to the world, based on what's happening in the world right now. But we're literally walking people from connection through to wealth, despite what people are going through right now. And, like, just when I say ownership, I just want to say what that means. You know the book Extreme Ownership?
Yeah, it's a great book.
That's what I'm meaning. Like, right now, people can, or people can rise up and go, you know what? This sucks. How can I serve? How can I help? How can I thrive?
Yeah, that's so powerful. How do we do that? I think one of the things you said, resilience, right? And this is something that, Natalie Hodson, I assume.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, of course,
she's awesome. We just had her on the show not too long ago, but she's been really coming out with so much materials and content with the math of the coronavirus, and she really inspired me to look into it. And I was hey, this is like whatever, like it's all gonna blow over. And then, like, I started listening to some of the stuff she did, and that kind of really woke me up. And that's someone she's been very resilient with it. I mean, she stood up. She's like, we need to get this message to the people. And I've gone out and I've put together trainings, and we created whole membership areas for people that lost their jobs, and getting those out there, and doing, like, live streams and running ads to these videos to, like, educate people. And so, like, for someone like a Natalie Hodson, for someone like a Josh Forti, who has an audience, who has, understanding of how this stuff works, I think it's a little bit easier for someone like us to figure out what to do, right? Because we've been in this place of leadership. But talk to the person there that, I mean, they are an entrepreneur. I mean, they are working for themselves, or maybe they're not, but they're in this journey of entrepreneurship, wherever that is, but they're not sure what to do. how do you how do you focus on positivity? How are you resilient? Like, what can we do to keep our mindset in that position and get through this collectively together? I can tell you're super excited about this. Let's do it.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not like, nobody wants to be in this situation. Let's like the amazing Liz McKenna, who is in my KAPOW Accelerator program. She literally is downtown New York City.
Wow.
And she actually did a video within our Facebook group just to let us know what life is like on quote unquote the front lines. Like
Right.
New Zealand's situation just changed like 2 days yesterday. Sorry. So our whole, like, we're locked down for 4 weeks.
Good
right
for
now.
you guys. That's what needs to happen. Yeah, well done.
Yeah, totally. So, and people like, I'm like, hey, everyone, we need to take this seriously. Like, and so I'm literally putting resources out there as well. I have a weird situation in that I can be like, there are 3 houses, 5 parents, and 3 kids, 3 houses, 5 parents. In terms of like the people who, because if we say lockdown, we've actually got to lock down 3 houses. So and I know that sounds weird, everyone. So what I want you to know is that my wife has 2 children, her ex-husband and his partner have those same 2 children in that house. And then she and her ex have a child who is in their house. So if you can see, there's children hopping between 3 houses, right? So it's not an ideal situation because locking down is different.
Yeah, no kidding.
Life. Yeah, it's life. But what I actually did was I created like a document yesterday because I started to freak out. I was like, holy crap, like I know that I'm taking this seriously from a mathematical standpoint. I know the curve, I get it. Like I get like you can extrapolate it out, and it's serious. It's serious for 2 reasons: health and also economy. Lots of other reasons.
Right.
Yeah, those 2 things. But to your point, like resilience comes from first making a decision.
Yeah.
Are you going to, well, I guess it's like I call this with my clients, and I often use colorful language, and I'm not scared to, but I'm going to choose not to on here. But like we'll say that you have to get to this point where you go, oh hell no, 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 no. And when you make a decision, the Latin meaning of decision, I think it's like indecidier or something like that, which literally means to cut off all other possibilities. Now, please, like for those of you, I'm actually dyslexic. I don't do words. I can talk fast, but I don't really do words. They're not my friend. I've been calling this the COVID virus, and Christy, my wife, keeps going, you know, it's COVID, don't you? I'm like, oh yeah, it is too. And you know that sausage, that really hot sausage, I call it Tritzno, and she goes, you know, it's chorizo, don't you? I'm like, you know, it's Tritzno. It's poor girl. So I make up words all the time. And as long as she can speak Liz, we're good. Anyway, so resilience comes first from making that decision. Like, are you going to play the victim here, or are you going to step up? And that really is it's got to start from a decision. And then, because when you play the victim, you look for all the problems and you look for how you're going to fail. When you step up and you go, no, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. One of my very first things that I did when I saw what was coming, right? Because we're behind the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Yesterday we had 109 cases. We started at 8, and in the last, and all of our cases have come from people coming back to New Zealand, or the majority of from air travel, either from the UK, Europe, or the United States. And or boats. Like I don't know the exact data, so if someone's looking at this, like I don't know exactly where
we're not data freaks over here. We're trying to make a point.
Yeah. Okay. But when one of the first things that I did, honestly, dude, was I was like, how am I going to fill my mind? I must fill my mind with the stuff that's going to like empower me to step up, right? I have to step up. I have to step up and lead during this period of time.
Yeah.
But I also, I also want to thrive. I know that thriving is a decision, and I know that thriving is an option if I make it an option, right? I can survive or thrive. So one of the very first things that I did was I jumped on Netflix, and no, I didn't binge watch. One of the first things I did was I went and I looked at, there's an explained series there. And one of the first things that I did was I put my mind on, and I'd watched it before, but I knew it was the right time to watch it. There's a little series there called Billionaires. And when you watch and I know that Russell did a Facebook Live like a couple of weeks ago, and he said businesses are made during times like this. Like the big ones are made during times like this. And you know, depending upon how you approach this, you can think, well, that's a very overly capitalistic standpoint. You should be taking a more socialist standpoint to this. It doesn't, like, my heart is pure anyway. Like, I'm giving back to other people left, right, and center. Just so happens that I believe that I need to step up to serve at a wider capacity. So, and I believe it's okay to make money by serving people.
Yeah, and if I can pause you right there, I think that's something that we should talk about here. The whole socialism, capitalism debate, business, yada yada, what have you. I feel like a lot of people that, you know, look at a crisis like this and are like, how dare you try to capitalize upon this, or how dare somebody make money when times are bad. And it's one of those things where I think, and I'm curious to know your thoughts on this, we have to remember money doesn't actually go anywhere. Meaning, like,
oh my gosh. Literally just said the same thing to Christy 10 minutes before this. I was like, the money hasn't gone anywhere.
Right. Like, it's just stopped moving. Right. And so like, you think, I mean, people, like, it's not like the coronavirus literally made money disappear, right? So people are just no longer spending it. So the people, like, you know, how wealth gets moved around really is through the economy and through things happening. And so by going and providing a service that is going to help somebody get out of the situation of the coronavirus, yes, there are people at the bottom that don't have money. Right. And they didn't have money before the coronavirus. They don't have it now. And likely they might not have it for a while afterwards, because that's just the reality that some people are. But there are still a lot of people out there that have money. I am in no way saying go take advantage of people that don't have money and try to pull their last dollars out of them. No, I mean, like, that's where you come in, and we're giving away free courses, free resources, everything like that. But there are still lots of people with money. Like, my savings account hasn't changed, right? Like, nothing's happened, right? And so I think that that's very important. I'm curious to know your thoughts on this. Is like, we're not taking advantage of everyone. We're actually helping. And because we provided a solution in a time of crisis, since we were the ones that came, or whoever that is, came up with that, they're getting rewarded for it. I'm curious to know your thoughts.
Dude, 100%. So here's the thing. I think if you have a good moral compass, which you do, I do, and like a lot of people within the community, like, do, like, there's, we kind of sit there and we go, oh my gosh, like, I'm so fortunate. Who am I to? And then you can start playing out different things in your mind, like, how dare I, da 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 da. And you can, so you've got to be ridiculously cognizant of the conversations that are going on in your head. So if you're going out there, this is my personal opinion, if you're going out there to rape and pillage, right, to use a very medieval type of theory here,
analogy,
type of thought structure, sorry?
Analogy,
Yeah, analogy. That in my mind is like, never reach me, like, you're not my people, like, that is completely and utterly wrong. Like, if you're taking negative advantage of people at this point in time, then no, like, you don't deserve to. Anyway. I won't finish that sentence. However, I think good people right now with good services and things that genuinely can make a difference in people's lives are being either they're allowing themselves to stay stuck, or they are starting to come out of that. What I'm seeing is that people are starting to speak up and go, oh, you know what? I'm an entrepreneur. I understand that I can save people. I can serve people. I can help people here. Sure, I might need to charge less, or sure, I might need to create a low ticket instead of a, $100,000 price point. But look, here's the honest truth, is that if you're providing value that can genuinely serve other people, you've actually got to, like, switch off the BS stuff that is going to hold you back from serving another person, because you're doing yourself a disservice and you're doing that person a disservice. And that can be hard emotionally to shut that off. And I'm an empath. I'm a super high sensitive person. So for me to speak this way, like, I'm hoping to speak this into people's minds and hearts, but I want everyone to know that even I've gone, oh my gosh, like, I've got a $40,000 mastermind. I've got a $27,000 group coaching program. I've got $997 courses. I've got like, how am I going to approach this to genuinely serve people at this time? Because same as you, my savings account hasn't changed. Stuff that is in market fluctuating things has changed. But I'm good. I'm safe. I've got stores. I've got stocks. So now it's a matter of going, how do you serve the marketplace in a way that, because the market speaks. So how do you serve the market in a way that the market can easily respond to? And that's kind of like, we all have to pivot, change. And it's, I guess the one final thing that I would say is that, to your point of the money's still there, it's our responsibility to make sure that the money is still moving.
Yeah. And that's very important.
Yes, very important, because entrepreneurs, like, the economy requires some degree of capitalism for it to work.
Right. Yep. And your money comes full circle, right? I mean, you're going to take some money, you're going to spend some money, and it's going to somehow come back to you, right? I mean, think of if you had all your essentials lined up in a block, right? If you had your food, and then your doctor, and then your car repair, and then your, I don't know, whatever else that you've got that you need, right? And you walk in with $20 into one. Well, that guy's going to take $20 and he's going to put it in his cash drawer, and then when he needs to go, he's going to take it out and he's going to go spend it at the doctor, and the doctor's going to take it out, and eventually when they come around to your thing, it's going to be like, oh, well, we need whatever you offer. Now I'm going to pay you that $20 back. And it comes around and we use it for different things in there. And I think that that's very important to remember, is like, things still move. And one of the things that I want you to kind of dive a little bit deeper down on, if you don't mind, is you said you're literally doing yourself and the person that you could be serving a disservice by not going out there and providing an opportunity or a product or service or whatever during this time. Can you dive into a little bit further? I think the people need to hear that.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so recently one of my clients came over here, and when I say recently, I literally mean 5 weeks ago. He came over here to Christchurch, and I did some stuff with him because he was seriously doing himself and his future clients a disservice, because he didn't understand the value that he was able to provide. And he was kind of like, I mean, I'm kind of good. So he was charging around $2,000 per month for a service where he was literally helping people make $500,000 or $250,000. And I was like, dude, hold the phone. Anyway, so I actually just did an interview with him. Now is like Tuesday, on Friday last week. Since coming to New Zealand, and I'm not saying this from oh look at me, Liz Benny, I've helped him, What I'm saying is this. He had a shift in how he was thinking. He made $100,000 on Friday.
Wow.
He made $80,000. He made $80,000 like 2 days before that. And out of 5 people, he's got 5 irons in the fire, of which 4 are guaranteed to come through.
Wow.
And those are high ticket clients as well. Now, the service that he's providing, if he didn't sell that service, these businesses have no visibility, and these businesses have the ability to go out of business. So if he has the ability to keep businesses in business by providing his service to the world, it's imperative that he sells.
Yeah.
It's absolutely imperative.
I think one of the big issues that a lot of entrepreneurs face, and so I run a sales coaching program where I help people sell stuff, right? And we teach high ticket sales, 5,000 and above usually, or like a monthly recurring, right? And one of the big things that the question that came up in our last coaching call about the coronavirus specifically was, Josh, I just don't know if anybody's going to be able to afford $2,500 a month or $1,500 a month, yada yada. And I looked at the guy and I was like, you're approaching this like your service is something that is not needed or is not beneficial.
Yeah. And also the service could hurt, because we don't want to hurt people.
Right.
Unless you're a
terrible person
that you and I would never,
right. Unless you're a terrible
hang
person.
out with.
Right.
Yeah, totally. So I think people are like, I actually had a conversation with Alex Elliott, one of my clients, yesterday. And we were talking about this, something similar in this regard. And it's a really simple pathway to walk someone through. Like, does your products and service genuinely, can you still, with this current environment, assist people in getting results with your system? Yes or no? Yes. Cool. Awesome. Go to market.
Yeah.
Go to market.
Yeah, and if you keep that at the forefront of your mind, like especially if you're in the lead generation game, or you're in the sales game or anything like that, but even in health, I mean, there's the three core markets, right? Relationships and health and then wealth. But like, you think of, I was just on the phone literally right before this interview with a company of guys. They do yoga studios and stuff. And they're like, man, we've had to shut down our yoga studios because of, everything the quarantine or whatever. And I told them the same thing. I was like, people want to be healthy right now and they're all stuck in quarantine. Right? Like and they're like, well, we've got this online course that teaches people everything that they need to know. And I was like, sell it. Like, go out there and sell it. And they're like, well, I'm like, anybody right now. I mean, literally there's, thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And they're like, who would spend money on their health right now? I'm like, people are bored out of their minds. People are used to be able to go to the gym and out and to work, whatever. And now it's like, I'm stuck in a house with kids, with a wife, with a husband, whatever. And I've got to go, right? And so like, the number one thing that you need to take care of, people are very aware of their health right now. People are very aware of the fact they can't move. So like, looking at it from the perspective of my product, my service actually better someone's life. And if your product or service does not actually benefit someone's life, then you need to change your product or service.
Yeah. Pivot.
Yeah.
Pivot.
Yeah.
Pivot. One of my clients, this is a prime example. Everyone watching this right now, it's not hard to pivot. I think a lot of people right now are going through this thing of like, oh, who moved my cheese? Corona. What are you going to do about it? Let's be serious.
Yeah.
So the cheese has moved and now we need to do something about it. So one of my clients, he's excellent at money, right? And when I say excellent at money, he's a financial advisor. He left a very high paid job to go out there into the world to assist parents of teenagers in understanding money, so that the debt cycle in the world is not does not continue. Right? He's an amazing guy. His name is Phil McGilvray, and so he's been bundling together an incredible online program, which a lot of parents have already gone through, to understand how to teach money to their children, so that they don't just go and chuck stuff on Afterpay, and then they don't understand interest, they don't understand tax, and then there's this horrible cycle of ignorance with regards to money. So that's been his big thing. And I'm like, dude, it's time to pivot. He's like, time to pivot. Let's go. I said, right now, you have the ability to help parents. Those are the people that are hurting right now. They are scared about what's going to happen with their America's 401k, in Australia, superannuation, in New Zealand, KiwiSaver, right? They're worried about this sort of stuff. You can provide, just through knowledge, you can provide some certainty, some safety, some clarity. That's what people like. When people are panicking, largely when people are panicking, it's because they don't know where the frick they're going. Like, what's going on? I don't know. And it's this erratic nature. But if people just have some facts, some knowledge, and a direction, often that's enough.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Brad Gibb and Ryan Lee?
Oh, yeah. I actually just reached out to him yesterday.
They're awesome. So they're a client of mine. And Brad, we've had on the show now 3 times because of the coronavirus. We just had him on again. And it was a very, very highly engaged episode, right? I mean, it was
sure
the economic effects of the coronavirus, right? And we were like, if you're looking for health advice, go elsewhere. We have no idea what we're talking about, right? But when it comes to the financial side of things, I was like, it's really, really important to know and understand what's really going on now in the stock market and in the markets. And we had so many people reach back out, leave comments, DMs of like, whoa, like, makes me feel so much better about where my money is at. Oh, it makes me feel so much better about this financial move that I just made. Like, I was freaking out, thought I made the wrong move because the coronavirus now. And like, when you understand, and like you said there, like a lot of times people are after security, right? Like we all want to feel secure. And a lot of times security comes with clarity. When you don't understand, when you're not clear on something, that's where security is very blurred.
Yeah, definitely. And just so with him, he's got, Brad and my client, Phil, like they've got the ability to lead in a different way.
Yeah.
Now I know that Brad and Ryan, I mean, they've been in this market and they've been doing their
Cash flow tactics.
cash flow tactics I've actually got one of the t-shirts.
Yeah, they're awesome.
So yeah, like I literally reached out to him yesterday and said, oh dude, yeah. So I actually reached out to him and said, hey, and he's just messaged me back, which is cool. But people, again, to the point of like the cheese moving, I think we as humans just need to be okay with adapting to things that we can't control.
Yeah.
And the attachment to that which we can't control. Like right now, it's kind of like if you've had like a boyfriend or a girlfriend, like go, I just don't love you anymore and I'm leaving. And you go, no. Like, no, that person's done.
Yeah.
They're done. And you can't change that.
Yeah.
You can't change that. So it's about adapting to the situation as best you can. And I think attachment to that which you can't control, like prime example, going back to the whole resilience thing and New Zealand and what we as a nation have been through in the last little while. Like I've been through like in the last 7 years, 8 years, two huge life-altering earthquakes. I had a chimney fall down right beside me.
Wow.
At a 2:00 in the morning, I think 3 or 2:00 in the morning earthquake. Can't remember the exact time of the earthquake, but I was home alone and my life just changed, like poof. And then walking out into the streets, we had this thing called liquefaction. Like our world just changed right then. And that was a September earthquake. And then the February earthquake was a daytime earthquake, and people were downtown in Christchurch, and literally like our whole downtown was decimated. Like we still to this day are still rebuilding from those earthquakes like 8 years ago. And our whole way of being in Christchurch has changed. And I think like we are a really, really, really resilient nation. We are down at the bottom of the world to get anywhere in the world.
Out there too.
It really is stunning. It's stunning. And I'm really proud to be a New Zealander because I think, like at this time, we're banding together. There's craziness going on. Like there's absolute craziness going on right now. There is panic still. But our prime minister, I think, is leading really, really, really well at this point in time. She's literally, anyway, I won't turn this into a political thing because whatever, I just won't go there.
Yeah.
But in terms of resilience, like I'm talking earthquakes, I'm talking massacre. Like this time a week ago last year, I was actually on a call, like a Zoom call with Catherine Jones.
Oh, and shout out Catherine. She's awesome.
I love her. I love her so much. And she just built my ultimate KAPOW funnel. So for my mastermind, and she actually spoke about it at Funnel Hacking Live, and just wow. So we were literally on a call like this. And my friend from America said, "Are you okay?" Like a text message came in. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sweet, mate." Like, what's going on? He goes, "I just saw on Twitter about the shootings." I'm like, "The shootings?
Wow.
What shootings?" And our daughter was downtown, like super close to the shootings. And like, I mean, a massacre just happened like 10 minutes up the road from where I live because, and again, I'm not going to get into that because it can be a political kind of conversation. But that wasn't fun to be a part of. But like resilience, I think, is something that we can choose. I really, really do. And I think banding together and being kind and being mindful of big stuff, like, I know that whilst we can't hug right now, there are other ways that we can show love and show kindness.
Yeah.
I think. So
sorry.
You go.
I was gonna say. I feel like I think a lot of people don't realize how much power they have.
Yeah.
I'll just let you pick up right there. Maybe.
Well, no, you go for it.
Okay. I just want to make sure because like I look at my old self. And I was a very, 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 very different person, right? Like 5-6 years ago, right? As we all
Your change just in the last year and a half. You've changed markedly just in the last year and a half, like huge. Dude.
Really?
Oh yeah. You go watch your old stuff.
Well, I mean, how long have you been following, or how long have we been in each other's worlds? How long have you known of me?
Well, I actually don't know. I don't know the answer to that question, but what I do know is that there has been a fundamental shift in your like stepping up and how you're approaching your market. Like you will have always been high energy. Like you don't suddenly go ding.
Right.
But like you have changed, you've stepped up, you've had some circumstances in your life that have been less than ideal. And I think how you choose to deal with those circumstances, I mean, often it can make or break. And like to that point, just to circle back to what I chose to do the night of, like when I was learning, when I was seeing, okay, Italy's not in a good state, right? America, like, okay, America, wow, okay. And Julie Stoyan was being really, really, really like, hello, which I think is brilliant because she's taken a really factual, data-driven approach to what she's putting out into the market. And then obviously Natalie has come in, and you've come, like, there's a lot of people talking about this right now. And when the very first night when I watched that billionaires thing, and I want to kind of circle back here because people could misconstrue that I was like, Liz just wants to learn how to take advantage. Well, no, what I do want to do is look at historical data. And in 2008, like if you watch the billionaires episode on the Explained series in Netflix, you can literally see the line in terms of when billionaires started to really come up, like really and truly come up. And in 2008, that's when more billionaires started to be made. And I think that honestly, a lot of it comes down to not being an ass and going out there and taking advantage of people, but I think it comes down to being resilient and level-headed and going, right, I'm not going to freak out. How can I build something that changes the world? How can I be of service right now and continue to grow and develop and be stable and secure and level-headed in times of crises? And I think that's something that the people that will thrive in this are the people who are continuing to look at this from how do I serve? Where are the opportunities to serve? Like we can say, where are the opportunities? And you can take that from a negatively advantageous standpoint. Or you can go, how can I serve? Where are the opportunities to serve and be served? And that's it.
Well,
it's just simple.
And one of the things I think that's interesting there, what you say is, like, we have to understand that the world is changing right now, like a lot, like more than ever before. And I don't just mean like, oh yeah, the cycle of life that we're in. I mean like, no, like literally in the last 7 days and in the next 21 days, like the world is going to change. And you look at, so back where I used to live in Indiana, there's a General Motors plant, Chevy and all the big plant. One of the big plants is out there, and like they're shutting down. And there's rumors, I'm not sure how many of this is happening or if it's at that specific plant, but like a lot of GM facilities are shutting down the car manufacturing, and they're starting to make medical equipment and masks and filters and stuff for like all the stuff that's going on. I'm like, that's a shift. That is a pivot, right? Like that's something fundamental. And so I think a lot of people right now are looking and they're like, what do I do? What should I create? And there's like, people don't have the answers. You might have the answer. And if you try it, go out there and test it, because the way things have been done for the last 7 years, 10 years, 20 years may have changed today. And there might be an opportunity today, right now, in the fact that hundreds of millions of people around the world are sitting in quarantine and can't move. Like there's opportunity there. So rather than saying like looking for answers of like somebody tell me what to do, you should be going out there and saying like, I wonder if this would work. I see this problem. Let me go try to create something that may help with that problem. You know what I mean? And I think when you do that, new opportunity comes up, and that's where the opportunity is being created that we're talking about, not taking advantage of somebody.
Oh, completely. And to that point, dude, like you said before, the people that have been in the marketing game for a little while and who have been at home and who have had to think differently to go through the survive and then to get to thrive, right? Like in some regards, it could be taken that we're kind of ahead. Like we have different skills. We have skills that other people who have just left a 9-to-5 as a da-da-da-da, like there's skill development that needs to happen there. So before you kind of ask, like, how do those people thrive? How do speak to them?
Yeah.
By the way,
how do they make the decision? Like, how can they make a decision not take advantage, but like capitalize on this, have the good perspective, make the decision, and understand their power.
Yeah. I think let's be okay with saying capitalize on this, because I think we've got the good solid base right now that capitalizing means capitalizing through value and service providing.
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah. I think, people are so scared. Steve J. Larson's not scared to use the word capitalism, but a lot of people are scared to say that. But to that point, like I said before, like the first thing that a person has to do is make the decision, right? But then the thing after that is like take action, right? Decide that you're going to thrive. Decide that you're going to like come out of this. Decide that you really are looking for solutions to this, and then from there, like it's a matter really and truly of choosing a thing to start to thrive with, right? Because I think, again, like if we have lots of different, like I could do anything, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Again, you're putting yourself in a lack of clarity situation. So then it's like find something like, I'm looking at, there are so many online programs out there that teach people how to make money from home. VA stuff. Like one of my clients, Lauren Golden, she teaches people, she's a free mama.
Shout out Lauren. I love her. She's awesome.
Oh, I love this. Like she's incredible. She's teaching, she's leading super strong right now. I love it. Like she's teaching mums how to like make it at home as virtual assistants, virtual executive assistants. People are becoming social media managers. Like businesses still need people. We just need to think of it from a standpoint of like, where is a need? Where is a problem that I can solve? And to fast path, this is a shout out to entrepreneurs out there who have courses that can help people. Like if we think of Joe Blogs, who's left his or her 9 to 5, they want to make money, and online programs can help them fast path the learning curve. So I think that a lot of people are sitting on courses right now and they're scared to sell those online programs right now because they think they're taking advantage of people. But if their online programs genuinely assist people in launching something, in making money that is making money that's good money, right? Let's just call it good money. Then people need to be doing that. So to that point, make a decision and then look for the fast path is what I would be saying. Make a decision, look for the fast path. Where is the online program that is going to like lessen that hurt curve, right? If we think, a lot of it is flatten the curve, but the hurt curve goes up when you go, like I'm doing this new business. I don't know, your stress is an all-time high. Well, what if you can follow a simple step-by-step system or solution that's bundled in together, like in a program, so that you can go out there and make money faster?
And I think that let's get practical here real quick. For those people that are out there, you've got an online course or you've got an online business of some sort, and you're trying to go out there and start to make money with this, or maybe you've already made money with it, and now coronavirus has come in and boom, there it is, your sales are slashed in half or something like that. You got to go through and do that. Walk me through some practical, just like really easy to understand steps of things that people need to make sure that they have in place, and questions that they need to answer to make sure that they have a good product. Because I think one of the big things for a lot of people, and I know for me, I got hung up on this for a while when I first got started, which is like once you like realize it, you're like, well, duh. But like one of the things was, hey, your product or service actually needs to have a measurable objective outcome. Right? Like, hey, here's how to do this thing, like right here. Like, this is what we're going to teach you how to do. So like, what are things like that are like, okay, make sure there's this, make sure there's this, make sure there's this. What are some practical things that people can do to make sure they have a good product and go start selling it now?
That's a brilliant question. Okay. So I actually teach people how to put together online programs. So that's what KAPOW course is all about. And to that point where I see people still continuing to fail, if they choose to fail, like I think it's a decision a lot of the time. Like, are you going to choose to win or choose to fail, right? Because a lot of the time I think people, what people in the past, when they've had time and space and everything, like we're in a time collapsing phase right now. People want stuff faster, which is good because people are then like, like let me make the right decisions, as opposed to this, fluffy, like, let's just take a little bit more time and walk around every single area of the garden. No, follow the steps, right? You want to go to the goldfish pond, go to the goldfish pond. That's it.
Right.
So I think a lot of the time what people are failing to do when they're putting together offers, when they're putting together online programs, when they're putting together like whatever, it really doesn't, it has to solve a problem. Like that's the big thing that people are not doing, like solve problems.
Let that really sink in, guys. Like just what ask yourself just the question of what problem am I solving? Like, and just get super clear on that, because I think so much clarity. We talked about how clarity brings security. Clarity brings certainty, right? So think about it. If you got really, 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 really clear on the problem that you were solving, and really, really, really clear on the type of person that had that type of problem, and really, really, really clear on the solution that you bring to solve that problem for that person, like think of how much certainty you would have to sell your program.
Amen.
It'd be insane.
Like, seriously, even before the big beer virus, right? I actually, funny story. Literally, one of my friends came around to fix a couple of things in my house, like, you know, like doors not closing, because earthquakes offset doors a little bit differently. And he did the boy thing. I'm like, go do that boy thing. That's awesome. I literally paid him in beer. Like, there was some beer in my fridge and it was Corona. I said,
no
do you want
way.
that?
No way. No way. Oh my gosh. You literally you paid him to do the boy thing with boy payment.
Well, that's called knowing your market. Yeah, I mean, whatever. It's a high value to him.
Yeah, you could have given him $20 and he would have went and bought beer.
Well, yeah, totally, dude. So here's the thing, like right now, like we've got to be mindful. Like, what are the commodities? What do people want? Like, where's the pain? What are the hot things, right? Like those fidget spinners came in and then they came out. Like, just be super mindful right now of like what's the chatter? Where's the pain? And what pleasure are people seeking as well?
Yeah.
I think that's, I mean, and if I was to say honestly what my superpower is, and it's kind of a hard one to teach, and I think a lot of people do it in different ways. I know that like Russell Brunson is super incredible at connecting with his, like telling the right story for the right thing, right? A lot of the time, like my superpower, to go back to my superpower, and Russell I know is incredible at this.
Yeah, Liz, what's your superpower?
Being empathetic, period. Right? So just to speak a little bit of woo, like a little bit of woo stuff, like I'm a really sensitive person. Like if you're in my house, I know when there's more people in my house. Like I'm I'm hyper aware, hypersensitive. I know that Alex Sharfin and his whole family are like empaths as well. So we're highly sensitive people, highly sensitive beings. So honestly, like, and it's hard to teach, but it's called like the easy way to say this is, if you're not an empath, well, how can you be empathetic? Give a crap.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Give a crap. Speak the stories to the market that allow a connection from heart to heart.
Yeah.
Because there's head to head, then there's heart to heart. If you capture someone's heart and they genuinely know that you give a crap about them, and then you can speak to logic, which is, hey, so here's the tools, the systems, the step by step. I know you're in pain. I know you're scared right now. You know, like speaking differently to the market right now is what's needed.
Yeah, and I think that's super, super important. I think especially in, you know, coronavirus time and things like that, when people are scared, when it comes to people not taking things seriously or whatever, like math and logic and statistics and graphs and charts, that's really good information. And in order to persuade someone's belief about something like a coronavirus, you may need some of those resources and tools. And by the way, to sell your product or your service, you may need to point to systems and tools and processes and like, hey, here are the numbers, here's the data or whatever. But at the end of the day, what's going to make, I mean, think of how many times you've seen numbers, graphs, statistics, charts and been like, that's so scary, and not made a decision, right? And then think of all the times when you haven't seen any of those things and you still do move forward. It's because when you actually genuinely believe that someone is sincere, when you believe that someone is there to help you or whatever cause it is. Think of when you donate to charity, right? And you see the people that are helping kids in need, right? And you genuinely believe you're not getting anything out of it except maybe a tax write-off, right? But like you genuinely believe that they're going to do good. That's when you ultimately go out and make the decision. And right now, let me tell you, I mean, I have gotten tremendous amounts of hate during the coronavirus, and equally love too, but tremendous amount of hate from people coming to me and saying like, Josh, how you can't possibly be serious about that. When I'm saying like, hey guys, like, listen, like, here are the numbers, here's this, like, let's do this, let's prepare for this, do this. People are like, how dare you? And on the same side, my audience, my market that understands my heart, that has been following me for months and years, that understands where I'm coming from, and I'm speaking to them and I'm saying, guys, the message that I've been getting to you, like, I'm doing this to help you. I'm showing you these numbers because this is what we need to look at now. Those people are coming and are like, I'm getting DMs. Josh, thank you. Oh my gosh, that video was so helpful. Wow, that totally changed my perspective. Like, that's who you're talking to. You're not going to connect with everybody. There's going to be people. I mean, go look at some of the Instagram comments that I get on my stuff. Go look at some of the DMs that I get. It's like, oh my gosh, like you think I'm a horrible person, right? But at the same time, the other half of the people are going to like, thank you so much for it. So no matter how compassionate you are, I think, like, you understand there's going to be haters. There's going to be people that are going to downplay you. I mean, come on. People think that you, Liz Benny, of all people, want to take advantage of people in a coronavirus. Like, what? That's so polar opposite of it. But when you're speaking to your market, when you're speaking to your people and your tribe, they're going to let that go, like, see that. And that's where they're going to connect with you. And that's where they're ultimately going to make a decision.
Amen. And honestly, dude, like, coronavirus or not, there's always going to be the hate. There's always going to be the hate. Like, these eyebrows. See these eyebrows here? They have received more hate than J-Lo's butt. Like, let's be honest.
Wow. Well, yeah.
They're not quite as famous.
Are they microbladed or not?
No, they're not. These are the real deal. These are the real shebang.
Do they have?
Look at these things.
Do you have product on them or no?
No, like I haven't like pruned them lately. I call it pruning. Most females would say, they get them
trimmed or whatever. Yeah. Plucked.
What is it? What is threaded? There we go.
Threaded? Is that what it is? I have no idea. All I know is my girlfriend comes up to me like every few weeks and is like, we need to pluck your eyebrows. You've got a unibrow. And she'll do it to me. So I had no idea that was even a thing until I started dating her. Never before in my life.
Oh, seriously. You need to make sure like the prime objective of eyebrows is that there are two, not one. Okay. All right. Just a loving little bit of feedback there.
All right. Perfect.
I mean, you can do what you want at the end of the day. I think we're all going to walk out of this virus thing like as hairy Neanderthals anyway, so we're good.
We're all just going to be like, it's over. Thank God. We live.
We're going to have bushy everything anyway.
Oh, my.
So I digress. Coronavirus or not, there's going to be the hate. Yeah. And I think if we can be... This is my approach to what's going on right now.
Yeah.
If we can be cognizant to the fact that the world is changing and then act calmly in spite of that, right? That's what's going to make or break. I really do fundamentally believe that. And how you adapt and how you act in a crisis is fundamentally important. It can be very life or death. So if you think of this from an accident standpoint, should we use this example?
That's fine.
A car accident standpoint?
No, I'm good.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So, because that's the one that just came to mind. How you act in a certain situation like that, can change things markedly.
Yeah.
Being level-headed, being calm, what's needed. And it's almost like, right? If in SAS, I think it's SAS or whatever it is, I've just actually hired Kerwin Ray, shout out to Kerwin Ray, as my chosen coach for the next part of my journey. And he's doing a phenomenal job in social media leading through the coronavirus stuff. He's kind of like the Australian Gary Vaynerchuk of those of you who are kind of like, who's Kerwin Ray? So he's a great guy. And, he's done a lot of training over in Russia and looking at how people are, how people move when there are bullets being fired all around them, and there's been heart rate monitors put on people, and it's literally like your focus. Like we can all choose right now to, I get it, I get what's going on. Now, how am I gonna, where is it? It's almost like becoming snipers in terms of like, there we go. I'm going there.
Yeah. And I think like focus is the perfect word, I think, for that. For me, and I do this a lot even before the coronavirus, right? I kind of just tune out the rest of the world, right? And I'm like,
Yep.
I'm like, okay, listen, there's mass chaos going on everywhere right now, right?
And it's out there.
And it's out there, right? It's out there. I'm in my little safe space here, which for me is my head, right? Like I like my head, like my mind. I lay in bed at night and I just kind of go build.
It's a beautiful
things.
head, dude. Like, look at it.
I know.
And then
it's so great.
There's two eyebrows instead of one. This is good.
This is so good. All right. So, but I enter that space and then I go, okay, listen, like I imagine myself like going through this mass chaos of the world, because now it's not just the flat world where there's business around. Now there's this internet thing. We call it the cloud. So it's really like all around us all the time, right? And so your business is running through there and everything else is going in there. And it's like, okay, you can choose to look externally and you can choose to be like, oh my gosh, freak out, stock market tank, this person, blah, blah, yeah. Or you can go noise, block. And now all of a sudden it's, okay, so reality says there's mass chaos going on. Let me observe where my opportunity is. Like, let me observe how many, I have no money in the bank. Okay. So that's probably priority number one, right? And it's just a very calm control because as soon as you open up that window, as soon as you turn on the media, like, gosh, turn off the TV, please. It's like, as soon as you turn on that TV, as soon as you open up that Facebook app, or Instagram or whatever it is, like that is a literal window into this world of chaos. But then you can just shut that and you can put it down and you be like, all right, this is my life. Here we go. And when you have that perspective, when you have that approach, it's very, very hard to phase you, because anything that's coming at you, you can just turn it off. You can put it down.
Yes.
And then once you're okay here, once you're okay in your head and in your heart, now you can go out and you can venture into that world when you're ready and when you have a plan in place from a place of power, clarity, strength. I think that's absolutely key. I'm really, really glad that you brought that up.
Dude, it's so like it's so important for everyone right now to be cognizant. You can't ignore what's going on. Like, the whole ostrich in the sand thing, that's a stupid thing to do right now. You have to understand that the world is changing. Cool. But you can go and just go slower. So my like noise canceling headphones, best thing in the world, best investment ever in the world.
Yep, I have Beats. You have Sony. So yeah. Awesome.
I got Bose, boy. I got Bose.
All right, I'm sorry. Yeah, you got Bose. I'm sorry.
No, I actually love the Sony ones too. And literally, like, I sit in here, I create my environment. So environment control, it for me is incredibly important. The door's closed. I'm here. Literally, the curtains are closed right now. I came in here for this interview and closed the curtains. Why? Because I want to focus.
Right here.
Right in here. Now I can open up that curtain. Nothing's going to be walking past it right now. Like, my garden is out there, but my energy is focused on what's going on. And honestly, dude, like, quite often I turn the overhead lights off. I'm just in, right? I'm in.
You're in the
I
zone.
know where I'm going and I'm in. And I think that that's like maintaining personal power through planning, through focus, and through decisive action is what's needed right now.
Yeah, I 100% agree on that. I got to ask you about your little workspace there. You got an elephant behind you, I see. What's the significance of that?
Sorry, say that again?
You have an elephant behind you? I got to ask you about that.
Dude, that one has been with me for a year, not for 4 years. It's been with me for years.
4
This one
years. Okay, gotcha.
has been at the backdrop for Social Monkey Business. Like, literally, social media managers all around the world will know that one. I purchased that. That to me is freedom, right? And like I super love that one. And then I recently purchased that one.
That's awesome.
That one to me represents power, right? So, and that means like personal power. We've all got to, vroom, right? So I literally stood in front of that one yesterday. I stood right there on the carpet, right in front of it. I looked at it and I went, right, cool. Let's go, girl. Right? Let's go.
That's awesome.
You know,
yeah, Marley Jack's just got a lion tattoo as well.
Yeah.
I think it was just so super cool. I love Marley.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up here, and because I want to be respectful of your time, but are you Are you a visualization person at all? Like you visualize things? How briefly, if you don't mind, like explain, do you have a hard cutoff here?
No.
Okay.
Let's go.
Briefly explain how you go about doing that. Because I think a lot of people right now, I think visualization for a lot of people right now would be very helpful. And I think for a lot of people out there that are listening, they've heard me talk about it before, so they're much more open to the idea. But some people are like, that manifestation, visualization crap is BS, right? But like for the people out there that are open to it, that understand like, hey, this is powerful. Like, what are some of the things that you do when you visualize things?
Okay, so first things first, I want to speak to the person who is a non-believer first, and like everyone's entitled to their opinion. So for me, it's important to say, like it's proven in science to work. It's proven in science to work. So like it's not just woo woo rah rah. Like it is literally proven in science when there is a head and heart coherence. So Dr. Joe Dispenza, I've read a lot of his stuff.
Gosh, I love him. Yeah, he's awesome.
He's like, wow. So I've actually turned to a lot of his stuff at this time, and I've been listening to him for a good period of time because I truly believe that there is power that we as a humanity, as a race, as a species, like we get to turn off a lot of noise and a lot of clutter right now and actually come in and understand that we have the power. Like there is good in all bad. I don't know if I believe what I just said. So what I'll say that because I'm like, my brain just went to the worst case scenarios. I'm like, I don't know if there's good there. Like, so what I'm saying is that there is a lot of opportunity right now with the slowing down, with needing to be at home for us to do life differently. And we, instead of being out, and instead of like wasting time, in traffic as an example, we can literally go in and create worlds of our own. Like if we're doing this big virtual reality world, we get the opportunity to create our own virtual reality.
It's so cool.
Own world right now.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. So for me, visualization is a must. It absolutely is a must. And it's so funny because my wife, Christy, she's literally got like, I think like 25, 30, 40 pictures ready to go to create her mind movie. And for her, it's an incredibly, and I'm going to help her from a tech standpoint. I do it a little bit differently, but I'm going to be putting together a mind movie for her. I know there's an app that can do it, but it's super like old school software. It's like clunky and it's not what we want these days. But yeah, just super mindful that there's a visual image of what it is, but then the emotion, you have to be able to connect it with the emotion. So as long as there is a piece of music, something that is literally training you to get into state, because it literally is a state. So for me, and if I talk about state from a different standpoint, when I put those noise canceling headphones on, and this is a nice little mind hack for those people who have ADHD, who have like focus, like squirrel focus, I literally listen to Russell Brunson, Voxed Back. We should probably play that live on this thing.
We definitely need to at the end of it. We'll get to that.
We will. But I literally listen to one piece of music over and over and over and over and over and over again. And that one piece of music is called Full Sail by Ryan Parrish. And that has just been a piece of music that the moment that I put my noise canceling headphones on and play that piece of music, my body goes, okay, we're in. And it's kind of like Avatar-ish type music. And I literally like, it's like I can feel it. So from a stand in visualization, the same thing is important. There's one song that I listen to when I visualize and when I meditate. And that is Devi Prayer. And it's on Spotify. And again, it just gets my body in state so that I can receive what it is that I'm wanting to receive. So it's about creating the right state, the right emotion. And when I say right, I mean the one that allows you to receive the right information and the right feeling.
And I think that's super important. And I think one of the things that I tell people is you think back into a point in your life when, if something happens, if like, man, that song came on, that took me back, man. You know what I mean? Or, oh man, that thing. That type of thing is what you're creating right now to like take you forward, right? So like if you can visualize it, because if you can hear a song, I mean, I think there's a certain song that pops into my head, and when I hear it, I'm back on the lake in Indiana with my friends, and we're wake surfing, and the radio's cranking, everything's there, and life is good, right? If you can create this future place of what you want to go, and you can attach that song, that emotion, that feeling to it, and then that's drilled there, that's permanently attached to that, because time is, we won't go into that whole conversation, but time's pretty relative, it's pretty fake, right? But anyway, so like if you can go and do that, and now you've created like almost an access point, right? Like you've created this state, so when you put on those headphones, that music comes on, you're there, you're already where you want to be, and now you're just fulfilling the process of that. I absolutely love that.
100%.
Okay.
And I think
no, go ahead.
you go for it.
No, go for it. I was gonna wrap up, but go for it.
I was just gonna say, I think it's really, really, really important right now to understand that we have the ability to step up. Christy and her ex-husband Kieran, in 2008 is when they started a network marketing company. It started with a high-ticket network marketing company called Liberty League International. Long gone now. But here's the thing, is that Christy created a mind movie, and through all the chaos of two young girls, through all the chaos of what's going on in the world at that point in time, Christy tapped into the power of visualization, and she would take her visualization, take her mind movie into the car, which was in the garage, put headphones on, and religiously did that. Wow. And they created, in those times, they created $700,000 in 16 months.
Wow.
And they became the top of the company. So does this work?
I mean,
it's up to you.
It's
whether you believe it or not.
And that's the thing. I think it all comes down to belief about it. If you, there's that famous Will Smith. I mean, I'm sure it's not originally from Will Smith, but every time I hear it, I always just think back to him. And it says, "He who thinks he can and he who thinks he cannot are both usually always right." And it's like, it all comes down to that. So whether, if you believe you can't, you're darn right. But the second you switch it and go, I can, then you're right as well.
Totally.
Right. Yeah.
Totally. And if you believe that this is going to break you, this whole coronavirus thing, if you believe it's going to make you, what is it? Is it make or break? Which one is it?
Yeah, which one's it going to be? And live in accordance to that. I love it. Liz, thank you so much for coming on here. Where can people find out more about you?
Dude, I think the best place is to come hang out in the KAPOW with Liz Benny Facebook group, or you can come see me on you can DM me or lizbenny.com. Those are the three main places, but come hang out with me in the KAPOW with Liz Benny Facebook group. That's kind of the best way.
KAPOW with Liz Benny. Guys, we're going to link that below, both the video and the audio version of that. Make sure to check it out. Liz is awesome. And everybody needs a little bit more Liz in their life, a little bit more KAPOW, a little bit more high energy, just get you pumped up, and some wisdom here. If you resonated with the interview at all here today, please go check her out. We'll link that down below. Okay, I want to get to rapid fire questions, but do we want to play this Vox from Russell or no?
Oh, maybe I should listen to it first just to make sure that he didn't say something about you like, oh my gosh, that Josh Forti guy, he's such a douche.
He just sucks.
Let me just protect Russell first.
All right,
for a second.
We're gonna protect Russell, guys. So a little backstory why she's listening to this. At the beginning of the or right before we hopped on here, we did a Vox back over to Russell about okay, I don't think we could hear. Anyway, we did a Vox back over to Russell saying, because full transparency and disclosure, this episode is pre-recorded. A lot of them we do that are live. Some of them are pre-recorded just from a timing perspective. This one was. So it was an interview, Liz, right after the Russell Brunson interview. And so we're gonna play the message here from that. So are we ready to play this? Hold up to the mic.
Okay. Let me see. I hope Russell.
Yeah, that pretty much be a cool save all time. So.
Oh, he said that was pretty much the coolest interview of all time. Here we go.
Wow.
Pretty much be a cool save all time. So that does make more sense having you there. So you are really cool tonight. Oh man, it's so fun. Oh, it's awesome. When are you on then? I want to watch your show.
Okay, so everyone, you probably didn't hear that because Russell, number one, he mumbles. Number two, he mumbles. And number three, I still don't know what he just said.
You just don't know what he just said.
But he said something along the lines of, that was the coolest interview of all time. And he's super excited to see this interview right now.
So everybody should be watching this interview, and everybody should go back and watch the Russell interview, because quick side note, I've wanted to interview Russell for years. He's been on my Dream 100 for 2 years. He has changed my life. His books, .com, Traffic, Expert Secrets. I mean, they're just the best books ever. So shout out Russell Brunson. We love you. And everybody go listen to that. Okay, Liz, back to us here. Let's do some rapid fire questions. Are you ready for this? She's getting in the zone here. All right. Question number 1. What is a bucket list item that you have not yet done in your life that you want to do?
Ooh, okay. This is a silly one. The first one that came to mind right now is I want to walk up 14ers in Colorado.
14 what?
14ers in Colorado. So the 14,000, like the huge mountains in Colorado. Mountains to me represent like freedom, represent pinnacles, represent getting to your top, and represent like overcoming some huge challenges. And Colorado is bar none like my coolest and most incredible state. I used to live in Colorado.
Oh, no way. I'm moving there in July. July 1st. Yeah, we're moving right outside between Boulder and Denver. So we got the whole mountain range right there.
I used to drive, I was a chauffeur. I used to drive people like Michael J. Fox, Mr. Marriott. Yeah.
No way. That's so cool. Well, if you come out in the next year or so, we'll have to go do some hikes together or something.
Deal, dude. Absolute deal.
Yeah, that's what literally we're moving out there because we want to be by the mountains and we want to do hiking and explore and all that. So that's going to be so much fun. It's beautiful there. Okay. Question number 2. What is your dream? Or actually, let me ask you this. Are you a car girl? Like, do you like cars?
Yeah, I do. And I have a different approach to this. So, but ask me the question.
I was going to say, what's your dream car? If you were to drop, the question is, what's your dream car? Or if you're not a car person, what would you drop $250,000 on? Like just a splurge, like not an investment, just like splurge and spoil yourself. You're going to drop, for me, it'd be a Lamborghini, is that a car for you or is there something else you'd rather own than that? I'm
going to be really, really honest. Really, 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 really honest. I'm not a things person.
Okay.
So that's kind of where, like, I literally drive a Santa Fe. It's all paid. Like I drive a Santa Fe and that's it. Like I'm good with what I have. And here's why. I want to, this is my personal take on it. I want to be a really good custodian of money and like create a different type of wealth where it's not possession wealth. It's a different version of wealth. So I'm not a things person. I don't buy things to change certain feelings, and it doesn't mean anything to me. Yeah.
So yours would be a much more experience-based splurge.
Oh yeah, totally, 100%. Travel, yeah. So that's a big trip, $200,000 trip.
Yeah, that's a world trip in high class. I like that. Okay, if you ever had the ability to go to outer space, would you go to outer space? If you got to come
100%.
back? Okay.
Yeah.
Some people say no. I couldn't believe it, but some people do. Favorite airline to fly?
Air New Zealand. Do you want to know why?
I would love to know why.
Okay, so go check out, if you want some fun, go check out Air New Zealand on social media. They do the best ever like in-flight safety things. They really? Just do. They nail them, and it's like entertainment. Like you're sitting there going, can I please watch it, instead of, oh, can we please just not watch that? Yes, we know it. We know to put out, anyway, it's humorous. So Air New Zealand, not just for that, but their service is just incredible.
Awesome. Air New Zealand it is. All right. What's one thing that people don't know about you?
Well, it's one thing that people don't know about me is that I'm not always like this.
Really? So you have an off mode?
I do have an off mode.
Wow. I've never seen that.
So that people would think that I'm like an extrovert. I actually love time by myself. I love time in nature. So I would put myself as ambivert. When I'm on stuff like this, I'm on like 100%. And I actually do love stuff like this. Like this is like, I'm just on. It's just easy, right? A lot of people freak out. For me, this is my wheelhouse. A lot of the time though, like I'm actually quite a quiet. I can be very quiet. Quiet is where I guess, for me to get the most done, I have to be alone. I have to be alone with noise canceling headphones on. So I kind of do the extremes. I'm a Virgo, so I really do black and white.
Yeah.
And go all or nothing.
Yeah.
All or nothing.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, last question I have for you. We ask this question to everybody that comes on the podcast. And it's the last question we always ask them. We don't give them any prep time for it, so they have no idea it's coming unless they've listened to the podcast before. Fast forward to the end of your life. You're on your deathbed, and all your success, fame, money, impact, everything is all gone. However, every single person that you have impacted in your life, either directly or indirectly, you get to leave them with one final message. What is that message?
Be you.
Be you. I like that. Be unapologetically yourself. I love that. Liz, Benny, thank you so much for the time on here. This was so fun. Do we have enough fun for you?
Oh, dude, this was incredible. Do you know what I love?
What?
I love the fact that obviously we're both in the Clickfunnels community, right? So you literally, though, you didn't know really anything about me other than my name. You didn't know what I did. And we just kind of rocked about and had a ton
I
of
knew
fun.
you and I knew your energy. And I just know that every time I've ever watched a video from you, and every time I've seen you, it's just like high energy. It's awesome. People follow you. And I'm like, I need more Liz Benny in my life. And people think Different Theory needed too. So
That's amazing, dude. Thank you so much for inviting me. I hope in some way, shape, or form this has impacted at least one person's life in a positive way. That's always my goal. Just impact just one. And then if we can do that, there's a ripple from that.
I love that. I love that. Guys, this has been Liz Benny and Josh Forti on Think Different Theory. As always, hustle, hustle. God bless. Do not be afraid to think different, because those of us that think different are going to be the ones that change the world. I love you all, and I will see you on the next episode. All of Liz Benny's information down below. Take it easy, fam. Peace.